Hi guys, Miss Bickel here with your 8th acting lesson. Ah! Is she sitting down? Yeah, I am, because I'm about to do a little bit of a makeup tutorial. Often in theater, you'll have to do your own makeup. Now, before makeup and hair, often costumes will be the one thing that'll really transform a person. But if you don't have the appropriate makeup and hair, that costume doesn't quite come to life. You may have to be your own costumer and costume yourself. So you might have to come up with your own costumes in the color story that the director wants. Now, what about makeup? Same thing goes. If you have a specific costume color story or a specific kind of style for your costume, it should still work with your face. I also mentioned you might have to do your own hair. You might have to do your own wig. Now for me, I have a lot of hair. Look at that mane. I have to fit all of this inside a wig, which I'm going to do today. How do I do that? The trick is to pin curl your hair. Take each section in small little amounts about that big, and you just twist it in a circle all the way up to your head, and then pin it. And then you can do it all over your head. It doesn't have to be that neat because no one's going to see it under your wig cap. Except, like the last show I just did, my first appearance on stage, I couldn't have my wig on, but I needed to have my hair prepped. So my first appearance was me in pin curls, so it couldn't be that gross looking. It still had to look right. Even before I do anything with my face or my makeup, I need to get my hair figured out. I'm going to prep my hair for my wig now, so that way my hair is not in my face when I'm trying to do my makeup. It always helps if your hair doesn't have tons of knots in it. Ta-da! It only took about 25 minutes or so. That's why I sped that part up. The main thing is to get all of your hair up. You want to try to get it as flat as possible. Now I have a lot of hair, but this is pretty close to my skull. Also, you might notice that I'm wearing something kind of loose and easy just to change out of. So if I had a costume ready to go, I have my skins on, skins being your undermost layer that you'd be wearing over your underwear, and something easy to have over top of that that won't mess up your hairstyle or your makeup. It's also good not to have anything fancy on when you're doing makeup because you might have some fallout. Now that we're talking about makeup, you probably will have to apply it yourself when doing theater. I don't care how big of a name you are, if you're on Broadway, you probably will still have to do some of your makeup. Everybody should be wearing some sort of makeup on stage, and that doesn't exclude guys either. You want to make sure that you are putting forth the face that people can see clearly and understand the character, and not look like you just came off the street or had a really bad night. More is more in theater. However, if you have a smaller theater, you don't have to go as crazy heavy because people will be right there unless it calls for it. But if you're in a really big house, a really big theater, you'll definitely want to pack it on, put it on there so people can see you from far away. The makeup that I'm going to be doing today was from a show called SHREK the Musical, and I had to play dragon, but I also had to play the witch, and I also had to play a tap dancing rat. Now, thankfully for me, they didn't all go consecutively once. I had to put on my makeup, take it off, put on another kind, take it off, put on another kind, take it off, put on. It was ridiculous. So I had to get really quick but thorough with my makeup. Often in theater, you will get a stage manager or a stage hand or someone will tell you how much time you have or if house is open. House meaning the audience. Once the house is open, that's usually about half an hour. You only have about half an hour if you did any warm-ups or anything on the stage to get ready. That's not much time. Sure, you can show up early, but a lot of times some people will want to rehearse or warm up or do some sort of call, lift call, what have you beforehand, so you're going to want to try to get this done within 30 minutes. But lucky for me, it was more like 3 over and over and over again. Now, when you're getting ready to do your makeup, you should do a little bit of research, look at some inspiration if you don't have any already, or if you want to try to see what others are doing, or just even looking at a picture of the character or something that inspires you for the character. But you want to make sure that it's appropriate. Is the setting right for it? I mean, are you trying to do makeup for a time period a long time ago, a time period in the future, or does it look like it's today? Is it too glamorous for something that should be cartoony? Is it someone that should be a villain and they look like a hero? Also, do you need to age up or age down? Sometimes you're lucky, you get to be your age. Sometimes you need to age yourself, either more or less. Some people do a pretty bad job with looking older. They put really fake looking wrinkles all over their face. All you have to do is just scrunch your face and see where you made a wrinkle. Then just highlight that. No matter what, as any character on stage, you should have a foundation, little bit of rouge, a little bit of lipstick even for the guys, just to accentuate your mouth so we can see it, and also some eyeliner. Get your guy liner on too. You can add, but still you should have a good base. Now speaking of, I'm going to go to my trusty kit here. This is my theater makeup kit. I have it stocked with different makeup that I would use for the stage, not makeup that I would use for everyday life. What's in a good kit, you might ask? First of all, you should get yourself some sort of tackle box or organizer box. So it opens up and then opens up some more. Whoa! Okay, some good things you should have for your kit. You should have different types of foundation, different colors inside your kit. Normally in theater, there are 2 kinds of specific makeup that you can put on. Cream or cake. A cream usually has oil in it or grease. It's known as grease paint. You know, like the kind when you get your face paint done or you do for Halloween. That's probably grease paint, which is a lot harder to get off your face. Often, you'll need to use a special thing called cold cream. Ta-da! This is one of the only things that actually takes off that grease paint. You just put it on your face, like it's a moisturizer, but really thick, and then you wipe it off with a cloth. But cream or grease paint is not so good for your sensitive skin, but it applies quickly and easily. Not to mention evenly, which is why a lot of actors use it. Cake makeup, ta-da! As you can see, it's kind of dry looking. You have to add water to apply it to your face. This is a very light shade. I use this if I need to be really pale in a show. Another thing you might not think you'd need is a glue stick, especially for ladies or guys kind of looking like ladies. You put it over your brows before you even put on any sort of makeup. And it actually glues down your brow in such a way that if you put on enough foundation and concealer, you won't see your original brow and you can draw it higher. You want to make sure you have a ton of different lip colors. All different lip colors that'll actually stay on your lips really well. Setting powder is always good. Setting powder can be for any makeup. You just put it all over and that way it kind of sets to your face. That's good for everyday makeup too, but it does get everywhere. But that's not all you need if you want to make sure it stays on your face. You should also have some barrier spray, so that way your makeup doesn't come off on your costume or another actor's costume. If you don't have any barrier spray on hand, you can use hairspray. I wouldn't recommend it, it dries out your skin, but that's another quick fix if you need to do something really fast and make sure your makeup stays. You want to have lots of different eyeshadow options. And to apply different shadows or different contouring or anything like that, you want to apply it with different sponges. I keep some of them if I'm going to use the same color over and over. Otherwise, you want to make sure you use a fresh one. Another thing that's in my kit that you might not think of is clear nail polish. Clear nail polish is great for like a run in your stocking. Speaking of clear nail polish, try not to have nail polish in your show, especially if it doesn't quite go with your character. And definitely don't have any hair ties or anything on your wrists. Oh, that's such a pet peeve. Something else in my kit is an assortment of lashes. You're going to want lashes if you want to try to be glam over the top for different roles. So you want to have lash glue as well. Another thing in your kit, mic tape, especially if you use mics often. A lot of times you might be waiting to borrow the mic tape or share it with your other fellow actors, or sometimes it runs out. If you have your own spare, something that you know is good for your skin, this is my favorite one, then you want to make sure you have that handy in your kit, kind of hidden so people don't steal it. You'd be surprised how hot of a commodity mic tape becomes. Almost like toilet paper for 2020. You want to also have some safety and bobby pins. You can see I have bobby pins today. I also have safety pins in case there's a costume malfunction, which actually happened when I played Dragon in Shrek. My head fell off and I didn't even realize till it was too late. I learned my lesson. Sometimes you might do a little bit of a special effect with your makeup, so you want to have handy if you do stuff like that. I have a bruise kit, and it has all different colors that you would see in a bruise, or even a little bit bloody or a little bit moldy. Blech. I used this when I had to be a zombie in Evil Dead. It came in handy. Well, I accidentally just put my fingers in the bruise makeup, so that's nasty. Which brings me to another thing you should have in your kit. Besides cold cream, good old makeup wipes are always great. It's also good for removing mic tape sometimes if you have it stuck on your face. But another kind of adhesive, talking about that, is spirit gum. Spirit gum is when you have some sort of latex or application to your face that you might have to become a different kind of character, maybe a nose, maybe a chin, something. That's what spirit gum is for. Now, I don't have any sort of really white powder that you can use for a beard or hair. I haven't really had to portray anyone super old or needed to change my hair to look white, but that's something else you can have in your kit. Something else for special effects is a stipple sponge. You can have a stipple brush, but I like using the sponge. It looks pretty used. It is stained, man. A stipple sponge is also good for beards. I often use it for the bruises or something like that. If I don't want to make it look like a brush stroke, you want to make it look more natural. Another essential thing you should want in your kit are various lip and eye pencils. You're going to use them not just for lips and eyes, you can use them for detailing on your face. Okay, it's time to become the dragon. So for Dragon, I pretty much had pinks, purples, and reds on my face, and I had a little bit of black. It kind of went with my costume, and it also goes with the color story of my character. Before you get to all the fun stuff, you want to put on a good foundation. I chose to use that Lime Life foundation makeup. Shout out to Angel and all the Lime Life people in the area. Also notice that I applied it to my lips and my lids because I am just going to color everything pretty much. Now, my skin gets a little bit oily really quickly, and it's pretty warm today. So I'm going to be using powder already. Remember I said don't wear anything that you don't want to get makeup on? Well, see? But loose powder is really good for when you're applying something really crazy or some really bright makeup, because then it's easy to clean off. Now I'm going to be doing the face before I do anything else. I like using that triangle sponge because it really gets on there precisely because of the shape of the sponge. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and do my brows, but in a funky purple lip liner color, because, I mean, it works for my character, right? Okay, now this is kind of a scary part. What I used in the show was actually a little dark and it stayed on there, so we'll see what happens. Now I'm going in with like a purpley color to go along the side of what I'm doing on my face to look a little more dragon-like. So now I'm going to do my lips because I don't really like waiting until the last minute to do my lips because I have big teeth, and if it's a little wet, it'll get on my teeth. So I'm going to show you a little trick. First, color your lips in whatever color you want to go for. I'm going to do this dark Star Wars lipstick. I just thought it was cool. My mom got it for me. Here's another tip before I show you the really cool trick. Take that white grease paint, dab a little bit on your finger, and dab a little bit towards the center of your mouth. Just the center of both your top and bottom lip. Now smush together. It makes this cool ombre effect. Now I could leave it at that. That's pretty fierce. But I think I'm going to add glitter. That's another must in my kit. I learned this from a friend in community theater, that if you take a chapstick or lip balm works better, I've tried chapstick, and you put it in the glitter. What is she doing? And then put it wherever you want the glitter. Wow, I love this color. Now also, if you have a powder or even a glitter on your lips, they probably won't come off as easily. It's a neat trick. Now, if you know me, you know I love wings on my eyes. So I'm gonna do that now, especially for being dragon. Wings make sense. But that I don't think is big enough. Yeah, it looks good. So I'm gonna go a little bigger. But don't worry too much about it being perfect because I'm going to be wearing lashes, remember? There we go, that's a little bigger. I like to do my eyeliner before I do any shadow. I do have an issue with making them perfect. So if I do it once and then put stuff on, then I can almost do like a fill in the lines kind of thing. Now I do like to put primer on my eyes before I actually put on anything on my eyes, but like I said, I'm gonna do this quickly, and this is how I had to do it backstage. There wasn't much time. Legit, can you imagine doing this makeup multiple times for one show? Ugh, such a pain, but kind of fun. Now onto eyeshadow, using the same things that I used on my cheeks, which I had a red, a pink, and a purple. I'm going to put it on my eyes, and then I'm going to use it for something else in a minute. Try to do the darker towards the sides and then the lighter towards the middle. Now I'm using this really dark purple for the creases or the corners of my eye. So I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like you can see all three colors. The dark purple, the red, and then the regular purple. Here's another tip I learned. This particular color, which is MAC, in the color Nylon, which looks like a highlight, which you wouldn't expect, but it comes out really neat. Now I'm going to take that glitter again. I'm going to use a dark purple this time and put it right on the brow. She's a glittery dragon. Now's the time for lashes. Lashes can be quite tricky if you're not quite sure how to apply them. The trick with lashes is less is more when you're using the adhesive, and just barely have it come out and then have it go back in if it's too much, and put it right along the lashes and let it sit for up to a minute, sometimes longer if you happen to have a heavy hands with the gluing that day, because if you put it on when it's still wet, it'll slide off your face, you're going to start getting mad, it's not going to behave. Now is also a good time to put a little bit more powder on your face. Notice how I'm doing like a dark line and then blending up. That's why these are so great to work with. Now if you're using a typical eyelash glue that doesn't have a color, mine's black, you look for it to go clear. Mine is black, so it's a little bit harder to tell. It needs to be a little bit tacky. You don't want to touch it, but you do want to bend the lash a little bit so it's easier to go onto your curved face. Now there might be a little bit of a gap where your eyelashes actually start and where the fake ones start. You go back over with some sort of eyeliner, usually black, and you won't even notice. Now is when you can go back over with that mascara to really make it look like it's just one set of lashes. Now we're not done. Here's my favorite part. Take a fishnet stocking or a wig cap like I have and put it just a little bit over your forehead. Stretch it to where you like how the holes are. Now take those colors that you were using for your face and for your eyeshadow and actually give yourself some scales. Don't rub or you won't get the same effect. Now darker is better here, and remember where your wig starts or you won't see it. I try to do like the top of a heart shape, kind of like outlining your eyebrow, but giving a little bit of the skin color in between. Now, I would say go in with a different color, and that would be my purple. So that way you can really see it because of the two tones. Now for the big reveal. Cool, right? I'm just smoothing in where it looked like it sharply stopped. Now it's wig time. You would really want to have a lace front wig. I don't have that one in this color right here, but you want to have a good quality wig. Make sure you adjust your part. And cool, right? If you attach the straps that are in the back, then it should not slide off your head. You should not need to bobby pin it to your head. But if you're doing any heavy dancing, or like I am, I'm going to be wearing a hat on top of this, you want to make sure that it's really secure. You'll also notice that I'm not wearing anything super dragony, but that's also because I'd be wearing my skins right now, and because in theater, black is invisible. So when in doubt, if you don't have the costume handy, wear all black. People will believe that you're supposed to be in theater. Theater wears black. Time to put on my head. Now is when I'd secure it with safety pins to the wig, not even bobby pins, because that would slip. This is silky. You want to make sure it doesn't fall off, because that happened to me. Finished product's pretty cool, right? Pretty close to what I did for the show, except, I mean, the whole costume. But still, you can get the idea with the top. I brought out the wings so you can really get a feel for it. Stay safe, everyone. Stay home. Stay away from those dragons. And remember, keep making people believe. Bye, guys.